our new wing. We have continued to receive funds from the Electoral Commission, which funds are allocated to parties represented in Parliament in accordance with the law based on the proportion that is represented by every party in the House. We have utilized these funds immediately and efficiently and filed accountability returns to the regulator of political parties. We have also answered audit queries. The Electoral Commission has not been to Katonga to issue statements of the Auditor General. The Electoral Commission has not been to Katonga to ask for accountability of any funds. The Electoral Commission has not been to Katonga to ask them to file a list of leaders that are duly elected. In fact, our friends wandered into the banks in this country, wanting to take control over the accounts of the FDC. They were told by the bank authorities they do not know them. And so our leaders here who are authorized continue to transact under the signature of the Secretary General and that of the Treasurer General of all accounts that belong to the FDC. And this is in accordance with the Political Parties and Organizations Act 2005. We have never had any objection to our operations as political parties. We continue to operate official business of the party from plot 1164 Entebbe Road in Kampala, commonly known as Najanankumbfires, where we are here now. Those guys who have behaved like thugs cannot come here to conduct the business. This is the official seat of the FDC, with the authorized officials sitting here. Lukwago cannot come and sit in my office. He comes to sit here as who? He can't. And you know, if he thinks he's the president of the party, let him dare come here tomorrow. So with respect to winding up our political party, the only legitimate body that is authorized to engage in the process of dissolving the party, as per Article 36 of the party constitution, is the leadership at Najanankumbfires. And we give respect and honor to our party chairman, who is not Waswa Birigwa, but the Honorable Jack Sabiti. So our colleagues at Katonga have no locus of dissolving the party. They don't have control over anything in the party. They can only continue in clownish posturing that we see written everywhere in whatever they do. And it's really very surprising that the man that is even made to read the resolutions, Elias Lukwago, to dissolve this party, does not know where we came from. He has no clue whatsoever what it took to form this party, to maintain it above political water. He has no clue whatsoever about the pain that we have endured in sustaining this party. And he comes here making fun about the funeral of the FDC. It is extremely painful for us that Lukwago, who has put nothing absolutely nothing to this party is the person who would want to bury this party. And I want to invite our members listening to us in this country and all over the world to look at this critically and to analyze the intention of Lukwago, who has been running from party to party, killing these political organizations. This is also an opportunity for me to reach out to our friends who would like to associate with this kind of group, that they do that at the risk of their political extinction. The other day I heard Dr. Besigye inviting political organizations to work with them so that they may do the same thing that they are trying to do with the FDC. This is a warning I am sounding especially to Luchamus, whose party I understand our friends are going towards. He must be aware of killers of political parties, including Lukwago and Semuju. Concerning our colleagues' resolution to form a new political party as per their constitution, we in the leadership of the FDC have no objection with this kind of arrangement. The Constitution of Uganda guarantees the freedom of association, which we respect. And they will not be the first group to start a new party from the FDC fold. The country will appreciate that in 2010, the Honorable Betty Olive Nabisango Kamea Turuomwe, having disagreed with Dr. Kizza Besigye, the Dr. Kizza Besigye administration, broke away from the FDC and formed the Uganda Federal Alliance. She didn't quarrel while living. She didn't set conditions while living. Betty Olive Kamea was a founder member of the FDC. We sat with her at Bonita, even while Dr. Besigye was out of the country in exile, to form the FDC and to endorse Dr. Kizza Besigye as our first president. But she walked out of the FDC. She expressed her issues and went away in peace. Similarly, in 2019, our immediate former party president, Major General retired Gregory Mugisha Muntu, formed the Alliance for National Transformation. Muntu is such a decent man. He came to Najanankumbi to hand over office to me. He later came to Najanankumbi in my office to inform me that he was carrying out a countrywide consultation. We kept talking to each other in the hope that General Muntu and the team that wanted to depart at the time would stay within the fold. He told me there were irreconcilable differences that probably I didn't know about, and it was time for him to leave. He left in peace. And so my expectation from our friends from Katonga would have been for them to to do whatever they would have loved to do, including countrywide consultations that they did, and took a decision to live in peace. It is therefore ridiculous that Dr. Kizza Besigye and his team would find it convenient to kill the FDC first before forming another organization. And that is an indictment on them. The Katonga purported National Delegates Conference resolved to extend their term, their so-called interim leadership, led by one Elias Lukwago. We want to observe that in our party constitution, there is no provision for interim leadership. It is ridiculous, foolery, clownish, ultra-vires to assign anybody such a position. We shall treat their resolutions with the contempt that they deserve. We would like to diagnose the underlying problems as follows. Generally, the situation that has happened in Katonga is similar to a neighbor coming to take a decision in a house he doesn't own. Just like attempting to sell land or property he doesn't own. We have been treated to decola politics by our colleagues in Katonga, which group has been run as a cult. These are fun makers, comedians, who even really talk knowing that the law is not with them. I even wonder which law school Lukwago actually went to. I think the law council needs to question, the integrity of the qualifications of Lukwago. I have seen him trying to argue cases, but you see a man who exercises politics in courts, and he thought he would do that with us here. He thought they would come here to undermine the authority here, drive their own interests down our throat, using Dr. Kizza Besigye as a prop. We said to them, we will not allow our party to be taken by anybody, no matter his political size or weight. This actually makes me believe that there is a very big fundamental problem with the so-called made in 1986 political group or model. These Bush war people who came to this country through the bush, seem to be behaving the same way, who have over time proven to be the same. Everything Ugandans know about Mr. Museveni, Colonel Kizza Besigye seems to be 3 or 2-fold of it. Up to now, as we all know, Mr. Museveni has never dreamt of life outside the presidency, with more ambiguities on the succession plan, which we are really calling on him to begin talking about. It's worse with our brother Colonel Besigye, for as long as he is not the leader of this party or has a proxy here in Najanankumbi or any anti-government organization, the country and the entire world has no person that can serve better than him. And this is where the problem is. Underlooking others, undermining others. We have lived with this here in the FDC. We have dealt with this here in the FDC. But by and large, we have marched on unabated. Some of the things that hurt the group in Katonga is the fact that we have managed this FDC party to progress, to prosperity, taken it to the country without them. They never imagined a time when an election would be conducted without them and a certain level of success registered. But we made a statement to them in 2021 that without Dr. Kizza Besigye, without Lukwago supporting what we're doing here, we still could participate in an election and return results. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate our friends who are committed to the party, who have resisted the confusion caused by our friends in Katonga and stayed steadfast in the activities and support for the party. You will recall that according to Dr. Besigye, General Muntu was bad for the party and therefore branded a mole and had to be hounded out of the party. And I want to say something a little bit about this. I was in the center of this all as a candidate. And my team began to foment this rumor. And I asked Ingrid, are you sure Muntu is a mole? And she said, without any shade of doubt, he is a mole. Poor man was harassed here. Dr. Besigye and his wife, Dr. Winnie Byanyima, came here, harassed Muntu, wanting him to resign. At an appropriate time, we will attend our apology to Muntu on behalf of those people. Now, even me, who succeeded General Muntu, together with the Secretary General, Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi, when we refused to serve the interests of Dr. Besigye, when we refused to be his stooges, we branded all sorts of names like sellouts, Engata, Ebikoko, and all other tribes of names that one can ever think of. I can assure you that even in his political, even his current political peg boys will fall out with him should they attempt to be independent minded. They are this breed of politicians who hate people who have got political independence and reason objectively using their brains. They want to control people. And this is something that we rejected in the FDC. And it has caused some of the problems that we have endured. The world, the country and the world can now see for themselves that the allegation advanced by Dr. Kizza Besigye against the leadership of the FDC were intended to tarnish the Secretary General and myself out of selfish personal considerations. We saw how the team was busy discrediting the leadership of the party, yet this group is even more questionable than those they intend to blackmail. Clearly, Dr. Kizza Besigye has surrounded himself with characters of questionable reputation, knowingly, but has kept silent for his own political expedience. We will now examine some of these people without fear of ever. The Honorable Semuju Nganda Ibrahim. He's the Speaker's peg boy. whose integrity is deeply questionable. He's the only Ugandan who has superseded the record of traveling. I was a member of parliament, and you know, travels do not come that easily. That he has managed to travel for more days than exist in a period of 182 days. And we have evidence to this effect. For him, he traveled out of the country on purported parliamentary duties for 196 days in a year. When we were hunting for corrupt officials at parliament, Semuju would have been lined up as a culprit, number one. I am shocked that such a person is heading the process of forming a new party. Is this going to be a party of the corrupt? Certainly it's going to be. Of course, you heard him recently, refusing to sign on a petition. And the reason he gave was really very strange. That because the person who was being petitioned against is his friend, he would prefer not to fight corruption. Or that, on a person who is alleged to have been corrupted on account of the person being his friend. And these are people who want to kill FDC and form a new political organization, and they believe that it will appeal to the people of Uganda. I think they are daydreaming. Honorable Francis Mujuke, I really laughed yesterday when I was watching the Morning Breeze, when Mujuke in his stammering manner was questioning the knowledge of the law of a teacher of the law. And I think I want to thank the Honorable Sibambi for his polite demeanor, because he remained polite. It was like looking at this fool, a teacher of law, teaching in the Law Development Center, in the oldest university in this country, and you go on television to question his credentials, saying all sorts of things about him, and yet there are skeletons in his closet that can be proved. This one's name should actually, we, the Baganda, would call him Somba Bioma. Because whom has he not flinched of money in this country? Including those he is hobnobbing with. At the party level, I can report he misappropriated a lot of money, but we forgave him. I have received complaints from 56 MPs on account of that kind of theft. This very member, we have privileged information of his active involvement in the Patriotic League of Uganda activities, led by Muhoozi in the Ankole sub-region. In fact, the 2 times he has succeeded to go to parliament, he has either collaborated directly with the NRM, or has come, as was recently the case in the election of 2021, come under the protection of the SFC in order to win the election. And Dr. Besigye thinks, in fact, I would like to even inform the public that Dr. Besigye knows all about this, about the involvement of Muijike with the PLU, about his association with Muhoozi, the first son, about his association with the NRM. But he's prepared to turn the other way, because Muijike sings his praises. Our sister Honorable Salam is known to be a regular visitor of State House. We have also seen her on several occasions escorting Mr. Museveni on foreign trips. We don't understand under what capacity. The same person was bankrolled by the State House with billions of shillings, ostensibly to defeat the then Speaker of Parliament in the Kamuli district woman election race. And I am going to say this with authority, because in a meeting that had senior leaders, including Dr. Besigye, she confessed to this. I'm surprised that Dr. Besigye is looking for people who collaborate with the NRM, and yet just before his nose, there are people who do exactly that. Just recently, on the 26th of January 2024, she was invited and attended as a special guest at the NRM Liberation Day celebration in Buenge Town Council, Jinja District, which was presided by Mr. Museveni. We wonder whether the party that is about to be formed, which Honorable Salam seems to be the spokesperson, she was a master of ceremony in the purported delegates conference, represented on the was represented by Salam on the NRM Day, or is an extension of the NRM. Elias Lukau. There is a popular saying or adage among us, Baganda, akasanke kakulema. A person who has failed to run a city wants to run a national grassroots party. Really? Now this one. Who has he ever managed? What has he ever managed in life? Apart from political nomadism, where he's been killing political formations, the DP, Subi, FOC, DJ, wherever he has left those political formations, he has left political turmoil. He attempted to bring political confusion to FDC, and we stepped on his neck on that. I am happy that he found us alert, and we managed to block his political schemes. No wonder his only experience now is in presiding over a stinking city full of potholes and galvanizing political capital out of death, like the recent one of Kitezi, where he is directly politically responsible, but only collects media to cry every day. He collects you people when he wants to shed tears so that he may be seen to be concerned about the plight of the people, so that he may win another election in the city. I hope the people of Kampala this time are alert. And I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the FDC to tender our apology to the people of Kampala for fielding such a person as a candidate of the FDC for the mayoral seat of the largest city in Uganda. By the way, we saw General Saleh threatening to withdraw his support from him. When did sworn members of opposition like Lukwago begin surviving on support from General Saleh, President Museveni's young brother? Isn't this the same that will be transferred to the new party in the offing under the stewardship of Lukwago? We challenged Lukwago here about the letter, the simple note written by Saleh, and he nearly burst in neck. He shouted on top of his voice and said, "Look, don't go in that direction." Because he feared to be exposed. I have seen him recently saying he went to court. But he was suing the national newspaper. He wasn't suing Saleh, the author of that letter, and who was the first man to defend Lukwago over this. It was Dr. Kizza Besigye who defended him. Immediately that note came out, the next day he ran to the media to try to convince the country how clean Lukwago is. Waswa Birigwa. And you know that Waswa Birigwa is known very well, famous for climbing over walls. Without any threat, because he wanted to embarrass the party, he climbed over a wall in Najanankumbfires. We watched him. I was here. Everybody was up in arms against the party. But before long, he was climbing over another wall in Katonga. We don't know which wall he will climb next. He admitted before Dr. Besigye that he had been in meetings with Museveni cutting deals. And yet he continues to get praises from our friends in Katonga. You heard them calling him unbogable, unshakable. A man who has openly come out and said, you know, he speaks from Museveni. He's on record. A man who wanted to stop an election here and therefore abused the sanctity of the office of chairman. We made a big political blunder in Lukwago and Birigwa. Actually, we realized our mistake too late, because under our constitution, a person to become chairman of a party should have a character beyond reproach. A person to become chairman of the party should have served for a certain period of time prior to contesting to become chairman. Birigwa came, he was brought by Sebugwo, he had crossed from NRM the day before, and we made a big mistake to elect him as chairman. In fact, it was a constitutional blunder for which the whole FDC should take responsibility. If we were fully awake at the time, we would not be having these problems in the party. At this point, permit me to clear the air on a number of issues. Number one, the convening of the National Delegates Conference of the 6th of October 2023 after the ruling of Justice Sekana. There is an allegation that it was not convened properly. I want to assure the public that whereas under our constitution, it is the chairman that is authorized to convene National Delegates Conference, This is done as an office, not as an individual. It is also clearly stated in our constitution that the chairman shall be deputized. Therefore, in the absence of the chairman, and in recognizing the fact that a void can never be left, a deputy will act. And so it was in order for the party, once Birigwa was unwilling to work as the chairman, to resort to his deputy to fill up the gap. I heard Mujuke saying yesterday that OHT Mukala's Chibuka was in intensive care and could not have signed that letter. This is a matter of personal health, but I think it was unfair to our elder Chibuka, because Chibuka was able to sign that communication calling the National Delegates Conference, which was given within time. Our friends in Katonga are certainly in shock about the manner we have galvanized this country. They do not believe the following that they see, that we have marshaled in 6 political rallies in Uganda. And your cameras have been available. When we went to Soroti, they said, you know, that was Photoshop. I am happy to the Daily Monitor that brought the pictures to the whole country and to the world. I am sure an individual in Katonga there who was interested in the Daily Monitor was not very happy by those pictures. But we continue to unravel the length and breadth of this country. And to those political failures who have lost political luster, who are now, you know, almost flat on their face, they have begun to give all sorts of excuses that we are bribing people with food and beer. That question was answered by Sibambi yesterday. When we went to Soroti, we kept our people for the whole day without even a bottle of water. And it was disastrous. So we went out to individuals asking for support. Some gave us food, some gave us meat, some gave us water, some gave us beer. What would we have done with that beer? Would we have poured the beer? Would we be abusing the generosity of our supporters? What would we have done with the bulls donated to us? Thrown them in the lake? Wouldn't we be abusing the generosity of our supporters and funders? So our friends should just bear the pain of failing to mobilize this country simply because the people who used to do the donkey work, the people who used to do the spade work are no longer with them. And we will continue moving, no matter what they say. You are all invited to Jinja. on Saturday the 24th to attend our mega rally that is going to seal the first phase of our country-wide campaigns. Then we will come back and review and see what happens next. We will be moving across the country, everywhere, across every stream of this country, up every hill, down every valley, through all twists and turns, to get to every citizen of this country. The third matter that I would like to clarify is the membership of the FDC. The country needs to know that common membership is renewed every year. These fund makers in Katonga, according to our records, have not renewed their membership in the last 4 years. Therefore, they are not actually members and do not have the legal locus. They do not have the authority to take decisions on behalf of the FDC. And I want to warn that this must stop. It must stop, because we are going to take drastic measures if this does not stop. The FDC is not going to tolerate fund makers. The FDC is not going to tolerate clowns playing with the blood of people who sacrificed. I am reminded about some people who endured the pain of being branded the PRA. Today, of course, Dr. Kizza Besge's brother lies in Rwakabengo. Ewano Kiri lies somewhere in Magoro, Nathan Okiri, who died because of this. There is a second Okiri who is also lying in Magoro. There is Opoka, who strayed into LRA camps and was summarily executed by Joseph Kony, and many others who died in the cause of liberation of this country. Of course, I would like to mention the massacre in Kasese on account of their support of the FDC. Now, therefore, our country is not going to be subjected to jokes. Our party is not going to be made fun of when there are people who paid an ultimate price for their beliefs in the party. In conclusion, we would like to assure millions of our supporters and sympathizers, both locally and abroad, that under my stewardship, the party shall remain alive. We shall continue upholding our shared values and expanding the spirit of one Uganda, one people, far and beyond. That the mission and vision that our colleagues who died in the struggle pursued will never be betrayed. We in the leadership are not moved by the threat calls of our colleagues in Katonga, which has no locus in law. Of course, our activities will continue unabated. And if you want to know how funny these people are, just wait for 6 months that has been given to see if the FDC is going to be buried, just like Lukwago was prophesied. And with energy, he said he's going to bury FDC unless he buries FDC is not Lukwago. Such a person, I am sure that everybody in this country now knows why Dr. Kizza Besigye kicked the dust to begin with. What the intention was. The intention to kill the FDC, take over its leadership, take over its membership, and take over this property. Because they want to liquidate it. Lukwago is in a hurry to get money out of this property. So as to have a turning point for their new party. They are daydreaming. They have even attempted to come here. And by the way, some of the quarrels about money, basically, and his team came to this place asking for 30% of every coin that we receive, ostensibly to advance the struggle. For me, I asked them, how far has the struggle gone? Give an account of what we have done in the struggle all this time. I was branded as a rude person, disrespectful of elders, but we are going to lead this country on principle. My clarion call to all of those who veered out of the line, for all of those who were given false hope, for all of those who were misinformed and decided to follow individuals more than following a good idea, that our doors are still open. They are welcome to return. And I want to assure the country and the membership of the FDC, we've been making this call and we have begun to register positive results. I thank you all for your kind attention. God bless you. God bless Uganda. One Uganda. One people. I say this for God and my country.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. I think everything has been very clear. I have a question. You have some questions? Yes. I will entertain about 5 questions maximum.
My name is Reverend Zamale, and I work with NTV. Mr. President, you said you're going to take drastic measures. What measures are those? And then I need to get clarity from you. Did you say that you had an injunction to stop the 19th August Delegates Conference?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Shafiq Alfari Kalanura, working with Daily News Channel. My question is, in your address, you said some members from Katonga faction have been in collaboration with the President Museveni and the government while getting money, but they are also accusing you to get money from the President. So, what image can the public take to have a clear image that the opposition parties are not corrupt?
Thank you. My name is Mwanje, I work at PBS Television. Looking at the space of the opposition parties, You are all divided. And you,
Can you raise your voice?
my name is Mwanje, PDS State Final. Looking at that, with the spectrum of the opposition parties, you are all divided as of now. And you're serving the interests of the government. That you are divided and you're being diverted from the issues you would otherwise be addressing.
Isaac Nwagawa, New Vision. My question is about the legality of Waswa Virgo as the chairperson of FDC. Recently, the Uganda Road Court pronounced that actually thrown out the petition by Jamal Wante, saying that Waswa Virgo was not the legal chairperson to call the delegates conference that ushered in the leadership that is working at Katonga. So what does that mean if the court says throws out your petition challenging the legality of Virgo? Thank you.
I think that's enough for time. Let's answer those.
Okay, thank you very much for filing those questions. Drastic measures, we will cross the bridge as we get there. So far, what we are experiencing is a mere threat. It's a mere threat. I don't even think that these fellows will have the spine to execute that threat. So we shall wait and observe what they do. And as management, we shall take a decision on the way forward. On the injunction against our National Delegates Conference, was that the question? Yes, please. Against their National Delegates Conference, I will ask the law guru to respond to that, because he will respond to it appropriately. But it's true that the so-called Extraordinary National Delegates Conference was stopped after three members of our party, on their own, went to court. On issues, this is from Kananura, of collaboration with Museveni, we have evidence. We also have evidence of money in respect to them. And if challenged, we can adduce this evidence. We can even bring witnesses. But the accusation of Dr. Kiza against us, the Secretary General and myself, was found to be hearsay, just merely rumor mongering. The opportunity was given to him to prove through channels within the party. And I invite you, the media, Mr. Kananura, to look at the report written by the Elders Committee that settled this matter once and for all. The opposition being divided and therefore probably giving the party dividend, this holds water. I think Mr. Museveni is very happy that there are quarrels within the opposition over money. And those promoting these quarrels are actually doing work for Museveni. They are. Because can you imagine a person who means well for the opposition in this country, prophesying death, encouraging the death, participating in the killing of a political organization, an organization that has got demonstrable political support across the country, an organization that has gained strength, gone from strength to strength in its nearly 20 years existence. You can tell whom the workers of Museveni are. And they are going to continue doing their work in other organizations. But as I said, the founders are awake, the founders alert, and we would not tolerate their nonsense. The other one again is a legal issue that our legal guru is going to answer. But I want to say this, you people in the media, take some time to read. Take some time to read. I was shocked when NBS posted on their account on X saying Waswa Birwa has been reinstated. And yet there was no declaration to that effect. You guys, stop misleading the public. You have got a duty to this country. Is Daily Monitor, NBS here? They are around. Why do you rush without carrying out research to report unresearched information? In fact, you caused the Birigwa to get excited for nothing. You served him air. But that is not good for the country. Carry out your research before reporting. Carry out your research before writing. It will help you the same way it would help the nation of Uganda. Over to you, Honorable Sibambi.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. When you say guru, at times maybe you create some bit of excitement in me. When I was with you, and Mijuke said, which kind of lawyer is that? PP, I want to tell you, I was the second best student in my career. Out of 144 at the University of Florida, I was the best student. I was nominated as the lecturer of the year on 3 occasions consecutively at my career. So I'm not ordinary. And I told the Lord Mayor, I know he's great, I can say. Mr. President, going to the points I have to clarify. In the first place, the delegates conference by the Katonga group was stopped by an injunction issued by Lord Justice Nambayo. So any resolutions passed in that meeting are null and void because there was a court order stopping their delegates conference. In other words, the appointment of the leadership, which they call the entire interim leaders of the party, is also void ab initio, it's null and void. And the Lord Mayor, being senior lawyer, definitely knows that. So when the media keep referring to the Lord Mayor as the president of Katonga group, is also a very big mistake. So as we talk now, all the deliberations under that kind of leadership elected in a meeting which had been stopped by a high court without any challenge would definitely, whatever resolutions are not only ultra vires, but they are void ab initio. Then for the second point about Uganda Road, I want to join you, the PP, to really request the media to investigate. This morning, radio program of Radio 1, that Zaina program, they're talking about, I hear court has recognized Birigwa as the party chairman. First of all, matters to do with the parties can only be challenged or filed in the High Court. whatever was filed in the magistrate court had nothing to do with administration or management of the political party called FDC. It had to do with what they refer to as private prosecution. Private prosecution is given as a right to a private individual who is not DPP to bring criminal action against any criminal, not civil action. So if you suspect a Ugandan or any other person who has committed a crime and police has not moved, or the state, for you as a private citizen, you may bring a private prosecution in a criminal court. But before that case is brought, for it not to be frivolous, then you go to court and seek for permission to bring a private prosecution. At that level, the court will not even look at the details of the case, but they look at what called a prima facie case, the ordinary issues. Do you have really matter for court to recognize and bring a criminal action against the individual, notwithstanding the office of the DPP? So at that level, the wanted, a Ugandan brought an action to challenge the purported claim by Biringwa, that is the chairman. And then the court did not even look at whether they have good grounds. He said this matter has been brought without identifying yourself. You have no LOC letter, and you have not even expressed why you are coming in to bring this action when it could have been brought elsewhere. So it was dismissed at that technicality. The court made no declarations as to whether Biringwa is the rightful office bearer. And that's why I have a very big problem with whoever said Biringwa is the chairperson. Otherwise, we will not be here. See, and I was challenging my student, because I also taught Lukwago. That's why I said I know whichever grades at the law school. So I challenged him to go and take a letter or any document at the electoral commission for him to be recognized as their chairman. We are not just claiming leadership. The proper office for you to investigate, the registry, is at the electoral commission. Period. Or a court order overturning or throwing out the leadership. I think we really beg not to go that direction of saying who is in charge, who is not in charge. It can only be verified by going to the registry and get certified copies, and we just give way. I don't know whether I've answered those matters.
Webale kubasomesa ndowooza mutegere bulungi.
Kakati, ladies and gentlemen, the official communication language in Uganda is English. So we have finished the official communication. Those who may want some small questions in Uganda, we can do it privately with me when my bosses have exited. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.